All right, guys, welcome back to Langley Firearms Academy. This is Braden, and welcome to episode 2 of the live stream. If you were on the stream last week, thank you for attending. And secondly, just sorry for the audio problems because I didn't realize that was actually happening until it was too late and already over. So I have taken the steps to fix that now, and hopefully we will avoid that issue going forward. Same rules apply as last time, guys. If you have any kind of questions, just post them in the comments field, and I will address them as I get to them, and as soon as they become relevant at the point in the stream that they would be best addressed. Yeah, just keep it polite, keep it cool, and we will get this going. The last thing I'm going to task you guys with is I have a reloading room, which you guys have seen in a lot of my videos. It has the white walls with the Glock stuff and the Springfield stuff all on the walls. And I can't think of a clever little name for it, so I'm gonna let you guys try to do it. So if you can think of a clever little name, just like a 2-word name like the Freedom Hut or the Ballistics Barricade or something like that. Come up with something crafty and put it in the comments, and we will see which one I like the best, and I might just let you guys name it, assuming that you can come up with a better one than I can. So that's the little project that I'm working on. It's actually an outdoor shed that I've converted into a reloading room. So I just got to think of a cool name for it. So hopefully you guys can help me with that. The last thing, if you want to be on the show going forward, just email me at live@langleyfirearmsacademy.com, and we will see if we can get you on the show and if we can find a time that works for everybody. But with all that said, now we're going to go right into our show content. And as I mentioned on the show description, I changed this a little bit late. Today we're going to do the best prepping weapons. I'm going to go into the pros and cons of each and kind of dive into the strengths and weaknesses of not only the guns I've chosen, but also the guns that would compete with the gun that I've chosen. So, like I said, if you have any kind of questions, just post them here in the comments field and I can see those and I will address them as we go. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I am just going to go through the concept of prepping from a weapon standpoint. Okay, a lot of people are prepping these days, especially in the United States. A lot of people sense something's coming, so they're going to want to get prepared. They get food, they get water. The next thing they do is they get guns. Well, the guns part is a little trickier because there's so many guns on the market and there's so many different bullets, so many calibers, so many different manufacturers, different pros and cons of each. So it's a very large area that they're diving into that we need to address. So the first things that people always dive into is, what kind of guns do I need? Okay, well, the first gun that they think of is, do I need a pistol? Okay, well, that would be self-defense. Okay, that would work. Or do I need a shotgun? Because that would be self-defense, and that would work, but it's a little bigger. That might be a concern. Or do I need an AR-15? Because they're cool, and because they're extremely multifunctional. And, maybe you could hunt with a 223 or a AR-15. I don't know. And so that is what this podcast is designed to address. So first of all, I'm just going to address the concept of self-defense. Okay. All of these guns that I've chosen, I'm going to run you through here in a second, will be suitable for self-defense. Some are a little more aggressive than others, but they are suitable for defense either way. So take a grain of salt which gun that you like versus what I like. I'm just offering my opinions from an economy standpoint, as well as a functionality standpoint. So I have selected one pistol, one shotgun, and one rifle. And I'm going to walk you through why I've chosen each individual unit. So the first one that I have chosen is a Glock. That is the pistol. Okay. So the reason that I have chosen this pistol is pretty straightforward. It's a Glock. They just do not stop running. They're extremely well-built guns. They have very few moving parts, and they're very reliable. I have chosen a Glock 23 here, and I'm going to walk you through the reasons I chose that caliber here in a second. But just so you know, we're talking about a Glock for a pistol. Okay. So the Glock is going to be basically like an AK-47 of the pistol world. They just don't break. They really don't. They have very few parts, and they're extremely reliable. So once you set on a manufacturer, you're kind of going in the right direction. Another benefit of the Glock is they all work the same. They all have the same function, they have the same design, they all work very, very similarly. There's different ones that are thinner and some have longer slides and there's different variants, but most of them are very easy to operate, very reliable, and they're just going to get the job done. Um, Little side note, it's not a good idea to shoot lead bullets in a Glock because the way the rifling is done in a barrel, like when you actually spin the drill into the barrel, it does it installs what's called hexadog. It's a hexagon screw, and what that does is it basically creates a little lip for lead to get under, and it's called leading, and lead will actually cancel out the rifling and make the gun incredibly inaccurate. Um, just a little tidbit. But anyway, so the reason that I've chosen a Glock 23, which you just saw, that's the 40 caliber round. And I'm not trying to get into the 40 caliber versus 9mm debate. I've already made videos about that. Check them out. They're really good. They have a lot of views and there's a lot of debate going on the channel underneath the comments, which I really like. But the reason that I've chosen a Glock 23, you could also do a Glock 22. They are the 40 caliber weapons. The reason I chose a 40 caliber is not because I'm a big fan of the 40 caliber. It's because it is an extremely universal gun. So as I mentioned earlier, they work the same, right? So a 9mm and a 40 caliber Glock, they work the same, the exact same. However, the benefit is on a Glock 23 or a Glock 22, so the 40 caliber version of the Glocks, they have the exact same frame as the 9mm Glocks. The only difference is the actual slide is bored out more for the bigger barrel of a 40 caliber bullet. Same frame, but just a bigger barrel, like a thicker barrel that withstands the pressure. But what you can do is you can take a 9mm barrel, an aftermarket barrel. I got mine from Lone Wolf Distributors, $129, and I can drop in my 9mm barrel in my 40 caliber Glock. So now I essentially have two weapons in a prepping scenario to where if I ran across some 40, I've got a barrel and a Glock for that. And if I run across some 9mm, I have a barrel and a Glock for that. So it's the same gun. I don't have to double up space in my bug out bag. I don't have to buy two different guns. I've just bought one gun and I've got two calibers that could be shot from that same gun once I change out the barrels. And I've got a video coming up showing you exactly what I'm talking about. But that's the reason that I chose the Glock 23. So I like the 23 because it's a little bit more concealable. If I ever need to conceal it, I can. But the 22 is the full-size Glock, and that's going to give you a little bit more accuracy, a little bit more length on the barrel, and just a bigger gun overall. So it's also going to mitigate the recoil a little bit more. So that is why I have chosen the Glock 23 in 40 caliber as my prepping pistol. Again, the only downside to the pistol concept while prepping is I don't have a lot of hunting abilities. I might be able to get a rabbit. I might be able to get, something else real small. But you're not going to be able to kill a deer accurately with a 40 caliber or a 9mm bullet. And even if you hit them, you're not going to put them down. They're just going to run off and you're never going to catch them. So for hunting, pistol's out of the running. But it's an excellent defense weapon, very portable, has a lot of ammunition capacity. The 40 caliber 23 has a 15 round magazine capacity, and the 19 or the 9mm variant of the same gun holds 17. So you are getting best of both worlds in that scenario. So now, once you have the pistol figured out, the pistol is kind of just a protect the house last resort. I've got it on my hip. If I'm out hunting, if I'm out doing something, I've got my pistol if I need it. So that's the pistol piece. So now, the next thing that people will ask is, well, I've heard shotguns are really amazing defense weapons. They are. And on screen right here, I have a Mossberg 500. This is my personal shotgun. I really like this shotgun. I'm just going to go over the pieces that I have right here so you are aware of what I'm talking about. The actual gun on top is the Mossberg 500. It has a looks like a 24-inch bead barrel. That's for hunting birds. And on the bottom barrel is an 18-inch security barrel for self-defense. And on the bottom, there's a grip. So what you can do is you can remove that buttstock on the top on the actual fully assembled gun and put on a grip where you don't have the buttstock. So you do have the versatility there to do however you want. One of the reasons that shotguns are such a underestimated and amazing prepper tool is the versatility. So one reason that the shotgun is a pretty much a must-have for me in a prepper scenario is shotguns can shoot anything. They can shoot birdshot, which is a very lot of little pellets and going fast, or it can shoot buckshot for defense, in which case that's going to put down somebody coming through a door or doing whatever to you that you don't like. The buckshot's going to do it. It's just done. Then you can also put in slugs. Okay, so you have the option to use a solid piece of lead, which is about that big. It's a 50 caliber bullet if you were actually to make a diameter. But what that does is that is a solid hunk of lead that can go about 100 yards accurately. 200 yards if you're a good shot and you're familiar with the weapon. So number one benefit that the Mossberg shotgun has is it's so versatile. You can hunt birds with it. You can hunt deer with it. You can defend yourself against humans with it. You can defend yourself against animals with it. There's a lot of versatility that can be fired out of a Mossberg 500 or a Remington 870 for that matter. The next piece that makes this gun so versatile is the barrel is completely interchangeable. So as you see on the screen right now, you have an 18-inch barrel, and on top connected is a 24-inch barrel. The reason why it's so easy to change is so that you have that versatility. This shotgun can be changed into either a defense shotgun with 18-inch barrel, which means you can turn corners in a house quicker, like that. Or you can put on a longer barrel up to 28 inches to shoot birds from a far distance. Or you could turn it into a 28-inch slug shotgun, which is a deer hunting rifle. So you have an amazing ability to defend yourself, hunt, provide for yourself with a shotgun. Also, the shotgun is the cheapest of all three guns on this list. So there's a lot of really awesome things that this shotgun brings to the table. Personally, I'm a very big fan of that. I have buckshot stored up. I have birdshot stored up. I have slugs. So just with that one weapon system, you can change out the barrels. You can change out the ammunition. You can do a lot of really great things, and you can do some awesome, awesome damage with it. And Tyler, I think you are the only one here, but that's okay. This always goes on live, so it's not a big deal. You just get a free lesson with me. So if you have any kind of questions, man, just shoot them and we'll have a conversation. So that is the reason that I like the shotgun so much. It's just because of the ability. I mean, it's such a versatile weapon, and it's really, really a good option for a prepper. The next one that I have is one of my favorites. This is the AR-15. So the benefit to the AR-15, obviously, it is a battle rifle. So it is modeled after the American M16 that came out in Vietnam. It's a civilian variant. It's also a military variant, but it's mostly designed for civilians. And the AR-15 is meant to be a man stopper. So what it's going to do is have a clip of about 30 rounds with .223 or .556 ammunition, and it's going to stop anybody that's coming at you. You have a lot of ammunition, you have a fairly loud report, you have extremely accurate weapon, and you have a man-stopping round, which is extremely fast. So you have a lot of potential to defend yourself as well as your family with an AR-15. As far as hunting, I wouldn't recommend hunting with a .223 or .556 just because you have to literally hit perfectly exactly right where you're aiming in the heart or in a vital organ, and it's got to be perfect because if you miss, that deer is going to run off and you're not going to be able to do anything, and you won't be able to eat. You'll just be like, nah, I killed a deer, but I didn't get to eat it, which is no fun. So again, from the prepping standpoint, the AR-15 is also a very reliable weapon from a replaceable standpoint. You can get parts kits for AR-15s for $100, $129. And if something breaks, you can always put that parts kit in that gun. It's fairly simple to do. It doesn't take that long to learn. And once you have learned how to do that, you basically know exactly how an AR-15 works. Another benefit is in a collapse or preparedness situation, if you run across an AR-15 that has a part that you need, you can always strip it and take that part and put it in your gun, or just use that gun. So the AR-15 is extremely versatile, and from a standpoint of everything happening in America, assuming that you're in America and you're prepping, that's going to be a very, very versatile, very popular weapon. So you're going to run across a lot of those. So not the best gun for hunting, but it is an exceptional gun for defense purposes. Like I said, extremely good range, extremely good velocity, very, very plentiful bullets. There's a lot of things that the AR-15 has going for it. But there's something even cooler that the AR-15 has going for it. I mentioned a second ago that the AR-15 does not have the best, what was I going to say? Man, about to say something very versatile, but I was reading that comment. Oh yeah, so the 223 does not have the best stopping power for hunting. It does stop humans, but doesn't stop hunting very well. Enter the 300 Blackout. So the 300 Blackout is one of my favorite rounds out there today. It's a fairly new round. It's been out for about 2 to 3 to 4 years. And personally, I think it's going to take the AR-15 market by storm. It is that top bullet right there. And then below it is the standard 223 or 5.56. And the reason that I've got these bullets up here is so I can show you the massive difference in the projectile itself. So if you look right up here on the top, you'll notice that that is a 300, that's a 30 caliber bullet. That's a 160 to 200 grain bullet. So that's a very heavy bullet. Now below it, that is a 62 grain bullet. So that's going to be a very light, very fast bullet that's just going to zip along and hit whatever it hits and do some damage and probably either tumble or go right through. The 300 Blackout up on top, because it's such a heavier bullet, it moves slower, and when it hits like a truck instead of like a very fast little tiny bullet. So the ability to have this bullet on the 300 Blackout in an AR-15 platform is massive. So it's really, really exciting. The cool thing about this bullet, the 300 Blackout has the exact same parts in an AR-15 as a 223 or 5.56 does. The only difference is the barrel is chambered and drilled out to be a 30 caliber bullet instead of a 22 caliber bullet. So essentially, if I go back to this AR-15 right here, I can use the exact same magazines, the exact same gun. I don't have to change anything about the gun. The only thing I have to change is that barrel. And so you can buy parts, like upper kit, and that basically just replaces that upper on the AR-15. And what that does is it basically converts a 223 or a 5.56 into a 300 Blackout. So what you can essentially do is same kind of thing with the Glock. You can buy the AR-15 and you can buy an upper. And when you do that, you can just take it off using the 2 takedown pins, which I'm going to have a video here in a second, probably about a week or two, demonstrating this. But you can just change the upper, use the exact same bolt, the same charging handle, the same magazines, the same everything, and you can fire both of these bullets. It all depends on which caliber you want to shoot and which upper is connected to your AR-15 at the time. So you have a lot of potential with the AR-15 and the 300 Blackout. That's why that's my prepping plan right there. I mean, I do have a 30 caliber rifle. I have a 30-06 with a scope, which is a very good hunting rifle. But the AR-15, in my opinion, if you buy an AR-15 with a 300 Blackout, I think that is by far the best combination for your money that you can get, because then you can shoot both of these bullets that you're looking at right now. The 30 caliber bullet, that 300 Blackout is going to put a deer down. That's going to put a man down. So you've got the capability of doing both. But the big thing that you have is you can stop a man with a 223 and a 300 Blackout, but you can also stop a deer or a pig or whatever you're hunting, or a moose for that matter. And you can feed your family, defend yourself, and that's my idea of perfect prepping is when you can use one weapon to do 2 different things. So there was a question here by Eric Lawton. Where's the best place to get parts kits for the AR-15? That's actually a really good question. The funny part is when you're online, like if you go to Midway or you go to Amazon or you go to really any of the places that sell things online, Bass Pro Shop even carries lower part kits. But the main problem you're going to run into is the shipping cost. What's the best place to do it with shipping, and who charges? For example, Midway charges an arm and a leg for shipping. It's very expensive shipping from Midway. But in my opinion, Palmetto State Armory, if you guys haven't checked that out yet, that place is amazing. If you ever need gun parts or uppers or lowers or handles or lower part kits, they have everything, and they are a fantastic manufacturer. That's probably I'm actually that is where I got my lower parts kit from. The shipping is not that bad, and in my opinion, they're a great company. Also, something cool about Palmetto State Armory, you buy parts for an AR-15, right? So you can get a lower and you can get an upper and you can get the lower parts kit and the mag pull kits and everything, and then just assemble it. Well, when you assemble it, you've got a complete AR-15. So the number one thing people always ask me is, well, what kind of quality is the barrel? What kind of quality is the upper and the lower, etc.? Any upper and barrel that is made and has Palmetto State Armory's name on it, it's actually made by FN. If you guys know FN, they make extremely high-end rifle parts, especially the barrels. And those barrels that Palmetto State is selling, they actually just buy them as Palmetto State barrels from FN in South Carolina. So they have a tremendously good barrel for cheap cost. It's got Palmetto's name on it, but it's an FN barrel. So you do have a very good option with Palmetto State Armory, which is probably where I would get my lower parts kit from, or at least look into. So I hope that kind of sent you in somewhat of a right direction, Eric. But yeah, guys, so just recapping the guns that I went through and just kind of the pros and cons if you happen to be jumping in here at the last second. The first gun that I chose was a Glock 23. Again, extremely versatile weapon. Has the 40 caliber bullet as a standard bullet or caliber choice right out of the gate. You can also pick up a 9mm conversion barrel, which turns it into a completely different caliber 9mm. So you've got a 40 caliber and a 9mm in one gun. So that's a very good prepping weapon. The second one was a Mossberg 500 or a Remington 870. Basically just a versatile home defense shotgun. You can buy extension barrels or change out barrels or change out grips. You can buy a lot of accessories for a Mossberg 500 or a Remington 870, but the benefit is all the different bullets that it can shoot. It can shoot slugs to hunt deer with. It can shoot buckshot to defend a home with. It can shoot birdshot to hunt down deer. It can do flashbangs. It can do, rubber bullets. There's a lot of things that a shotgun can do that are very, very beneficial. Also, guys, just in case you run across this and you're looking in for a shotgun, the Mossberg 500 and the Remington 870 are essentially the same gun. I'm just going to tell you the slight differences. Obviously, one is made by Remington and one is made by Mossberg, but the safety on a Mossberg 500 is on the top of the receiver, and on the Remington, it's behind the trigger. So that's not a huge difference. That's just a form difference. But the other really distinct difference from Mossberg or Remington 870, the Remington 870 has metal parts inside that are not user replaceable. So you can't break it open and get to it. You need the manufacturer to fix that gun. The Mossberg 500 does have plastic pieces on the inside, like the extractor and a lot of other pieces, but they're usable, they're user installable, so you can easily get to them and fix them. So that's the number one thing that people will always jump on with a Remington 870 or a Mossberg 500. The 500 to me is a better choice because I can repair it and it's going to work just the same as an 870. The 870 is used by militaries around the world as well as the 500, so they both have their pros and cons. But that's just a little tidbit. You can also extend the tube on the bottom to have even more ammunition as well. And the last one here is the AR-15, and then the optional 300 Blackout upper, which converts it into a hunting caliber. So AR-15, extremely versatile, extremely modular. You can put on scopes, you can put on lasers. I wouldn't recommend lasers, but you can do it. You can build one with an 18-inch barrel. You can build one with a 22-inch barrel, 16-inch barrel, 14.7 barrel. You can do a lot of different things. It's just the versatility is excellent, the reliability is excellent, and the accuracy is off the charts. AR-15s shooting 223 or 5.56 use the exact same magazines as 300 Blackout. The only thing is you'll have to change the upper because the barrel has to be switched out to accept the heavier and bigger bullet. Same bolt carrier groups are used, same everything. So that's definitely something that you might want to look into. And like I said, I'm going to be doing a video where I break that down a lot more here in the next few days. And just those are the two bullets, just to recap real quick. 300 AAC Blackout on the top, so the really, really big bullet that's going to have a lot of mass and energy behind it. And then the 223 or 5.56 62 grain bullet on the bottom, which is the standard NATO round for an AR-15. That is going to be a man stopper. So that's what the military uses. So the 300 Blackout is also being adopted by the military, just not as quite as a fast of a rate. Also, they use the same shell casings. The 300 Blackout is actually technically it's a cut down 223 that's just been reshaped. So, little fun fact for you. And guys, that was kind of my whole presentation for my choices for prepping weapons. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Learned a few things about the different guns, their pros and cons. I thank you guys for jumping in here. The comments are great. If you guys have any kind of questions, feel free to put them in right now. The Vortex rounds, a good round for elk. The Barnes, from what I understand, let me double check this here. I know Barnes makes very good bullets. They are, I believe, the lead-free bullets that have tungsten inside and copper outside. Vortex bullets. Let's see. Oh yeah, absolutely. So let me see here. I actually have some of these bullets that I haven't shot and done a test on yet, but I definitely need to. Oh, so these bullets would definitely knock down a deer. Just so you know, I had to make sure that I had it right. The Vortex is a good round for elk, but like I said last time, just make sure the grain weight is heavy enough. The minimum I would do is 168. The maximum I would do is 185 to 190 on the grain weight. But it's all about that stopping power and the impact. The Vortex are excellent, though, from a standpoint of the bullet design. So if you've actually ever watched the videos and listened to how they design those bullets, it's actually very interesting. There's three rings around the bullet in the body, and what that does is it reduces the drag of the bullet going through the barrel. So it's basically the rings of copper on the outside of the bullet, lower the level of the bullet, so it won't touch the barrel all the way around. So it lowers the friction and it lowers the resistance, so you get a cleaner bullet. Also, another benefit for the Barnes Vortex is that it is a completely copper and tungsten bullet, so there's no environmental problems to shooting a lead bullet, because in some states it's illegal to shoot with lead bullets just because it contaminates the environment. But those are tungsten and copper, so they're very, very good bullets. They also have the blue ballistic tip on the front, and what that enables the bullet to do is be hyper accurate so that it can achieve accuracy right where you need it, and it's going to break away and initiates that expansion right at the last second. But that is an excellent question. Those are good bullets, though. They're expensive, but they are good. I really need to do my review on those bullets. I have some, but I haven't used them yet. But yeah, that was a very good question. All right, guys. So it's coming on 9:30. Like I said, just kind of wrapping up from what I said at the beginning. If you guys want to be on the show, just shoot me an email. It's live@langleyfirearmsacademy.com. And also, even more important, I've got to name my reloading shed, and I can't think of a name. So something that I really like is the Freedom Hut, but that's already been taken by a radio guy, so I can't use that. So if you guys can think of anything, please feel free to leave me in the comments on this video or on any of the other videos, and I would love to incorporate some of your names and see if I can get a good name for that reloading room, because I love being out there, I love doing these videos, and I hope you guys can jump in here with me. But Until next time, guys, I'm going to be doing a video next week. I also will have a significant amount of full auto shoots coming pretty soon with multiple different calibers, different full auto reviews, which I'm very excited about. Got a lot of great things coming for you in the future. But guys, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. This is Braden signing out.